Let's go out to meteorologist Tracy Hinson. She's live for us near Del Mar. Tracy, what are you seeing?
All right, so I am on Del Mar. This is building 562. In it is the She, Nail, and Beauty Bar Lounge. There's also a couple of office buildings. So if I zoom in, you can actually see that part of the facade of this building has actually been ripped off. We've seen some people coming in and out as they are kind of evacuated from the building right now. You can see that this was an occupied office space as well. One thing that really concerns me with this building is you can see like the front facade has fallen off. But as we climb up the building, you can also see that there's parts towards the top of it on both sides that have actually been ripped off. So this then creates some structural damage within the building. And I really worry about people walking down around the bases of these buildings, because now that this is damaged, it wouldn't take much for a little bit more of it to crumble down. Pieces of it that have been unstable that could come down with or without wind. This is just an unstable building at this time, with some of those exterior parts of the building. You can see this is pretty high up. This is 7 floors up this part of the building, and then all of that did come down. Naturally, it came down onto the sidewalk below, where there's also some structural damage that's already on the fronts of these buildings. So it is dangerous to be walking out in front of these buildings, around these buildings. I'm safely across the street in a parking lot, but we've also seen lots of tree damage along the road here on Del Mar. Pretty much along Del Mar, if you're looking towards Forest Park, if you're looking south, you're going to see multiple roads with trees down, very heavy. So we're going to film some of this, and then we're going to head off to another location here. But from Del Mar, I'm Tracy Hinson, 500 Side.
All right, thanks so much, Tracy. We also want to mention Forest Park Golf Course, Missouri History Museum, Art Museum, all closed right now as they assess damage around their property. Let's go out to Justina Cornell. She's been reporting all afternoon from the Central West End on storm damage there. Justina, what are you seeing right now?
Absolutely. So we've made our way from McPherson and have walked all the way over, and we talked about there was damage at Kingside Diner. I want you to take a look. This is what we're seeing. All of the glass on the ground, this broken window right here. Actually, I tried to get an employee to talk to me, but he didn't want to. But he said that I asked, was it a tree that knocked it down? What possibly caused this? And he said it was the wind. He said he felt like he saw the tornado right here. Again, this is what he had said. Nothing confirmed yet of what was actually that led to this. But he said that they were just there, they saw it, and all of a sudden this window broke. So now it is cleanup mode. Again, I just wanted to show you a bit of the glass on the ground. If you're walking out here, there's a ton of people out and about, not only cleaning up, but also just being curious of the damage left behind, but be mindful. There's a lot of glass on the ground. We actually saw down power lines. So I just want to make sure you are being safe, being mindful. But again, just check out some of the glass, the damage that we're seeing here. Again, an employee told me they said it was wind, because I was wondering, was it a tree? No, he said this was because of wind. So we're going to keep moving around here. Obviously, we're hearing a ton of noises. If we're hearing police over there, again, not sure if they're going to an active scene right now or if they're just trying to maybe move some of the cars, but we're seeing a ton of cars out here. So just keep in mind if you're going to be in the Central West End. Again, there's a ton of businesses here. If you take a look over there, again, a lot of trees on top of these cars. Again, just reminding y'all, if you're not live in the city, there's a lot of cars that are actually parked on the street. So a lot of damage from these trees are on those cars. So as we were kind of walking around, we've seen broken windows and whatnot. So we're going to make walking over here if you guys want to kind of follow us. Again, continuing our tour in Central West End, definitely getting my steps in today. But I just kind of wanted to make sure we do kind of a walk and talk so you see what we're seeing out here. I just wanted to make sure you guys kind of got the depth of the damage that we've seen. A lot of trees out here. This isn't as bad, but just kind of the shrubbery that we've been seeing on the ground. This one definitely a bit bigger tree. We're just hearing some police heading by, but we're going to keep walking this way. It seems like when we were over there on more of the McPherson on the Euclid end, it was definitely more trees there, but we're just seeing a little bit more. Again, people are out here just kind of assessing. We're going to send it back to you. If we see anything else, we'll make sure to tap producer Brandmeyer for any more updates.
All right, that was Justina Cornell reporting from the Central West End. We have another emergency unfolding in Clayton. Let's get to Holden Kerwicki, where there are evacuations underway due to a gas leak on West Polo. Holden?
Well, that's exactly right, Kay. There are actually a number of issues going along out here. I'm in the area of around South Hanley and Polo Drive, and as you can see behind me, we have a car that is trapped underneath of a tree blown over during the storm. According to the Richmond Heights Fire Department, they've had a number of calls with trees on cars, a number featuring entrapments. The good news here, they've got everybody out of those cars, including this one right here, and no one was hurt. Now, here on Polo Drive, we can see this is a tree down. It looks like a piece of someone's gutter stuck, inside of that tree. There are multiple trees down all throughout this entire neighborhood. We're going to kind of walk over this way. This would be to the west, just south of downtown Clayton. And here on Polo Drive, there is a gas leak. Now, the fire department is evacuating homes in this area, as well as a number of apartment buildings in this area. They said that they have not only a gas leak, but also electrical lines down. They are currently working with Spire to get out here and try and take care of those gas leaks. When we pulled up, actually, you could smell the gas in this area along Polo Drive. Standing out here in the open air, I can't smell it right now, but oddly enough, they said those gas lines were ripped out of the ground when some of these trees were actually blown over. The other issue that they're working with Ameren is to try and get some of those trees just cleared out of the area right now. But the good news, so far, they are reporting no one was injured. It's just a lot of scary situation, a lot that people are going to have to clear up, because as you just continue to look through this area, there's a lot of old growth trees and things like that have stood here for decades, if not more than a century, that are now on the ground. Now, one thing that fires did want to tell people to do was avoid the area between Big Bend and Wydown. They've actually closed down that area due to the number of trees that are down throughout the town of Clayton and Richmond Heights. So if you have to get out right now, understand it is going to take you some time to get around, and especially through Clayton and Richmond Heights, a number of the street lights are actually out because we don't have power. But for now, I'm going to send it back to you in the studio as we continue to survey some of this damage. Reporting live in Clayton, I'm Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
All right, thank you, Holden. There have been, many reports of communities where there are a lot of people out in the street because of what happened. Washington University, the Central West End. So if you are planning to drive later this afternoon, maybe want to put that trip off, because being on the road right now is not the safest thing. All right, Mark Maxwell is live in North City, where a house has collapsed. Let's go to him live. Mark?
Yeah, Kay, and I'll just reiterate what you were saying. Here on St. Louis Avenue and Lambden Avenue, the intersection here, a lot of the traffic is trying to navigate down trees, down power lines that have cluttered and snarled traffic in the roads. School buses are trying to make their way through. Parents are trying to go pick up their kids in the aftermath of all this. And yes, as you mentioned, the house behind me here, the entire wall caved in. Our photojournalist Andy Broadway will give you a look at what's happened here. That looks like a bedroom. You can see the bed, a chair, a reading room in there, the entire brick wall collapsing and caving, the roof falling in with severe wind. And what I can tell you is we just met with a man down the street by the name of Jay. His roof blew off. The house next door collapsed. We'll show you a video of that later in our newscast. I want to bring you now to the homeowner who was inside. Michael was inside, and you heard something on your phone and had an instinct to take cover.
Yes, it was just a weather alert, just bing, bing, start beeping off, and it said, take cover now, and you had less than like 2 minutes. And people say it sounded like a freight train, but it just was a loud ruckus. The building started shaking, and I just grabbed my little hard hat and my little bug out bag and just hid in the corner and shook and started praying to God till it was all over with. My cousin stayed downstairs underneath me. Everything fell down on him as well, but we was both live and well.
And we're so glad that you're okay. You took quick action to take cover. Can you just tell us quickly, where in the house were you when you got that notice?
Okay, right there, as you can see where that bed is, if you make a right where that crack of the wall is, right, it's a refrigerator in that wall, and I was hiding right there between that wall and a refrigerator and a couch.
Clearly a close call. We hope you're okay. You told us just a moment ago off camera you're not quite sure yet where you're going to stay tonight. Melvin, can you come? I know you were in a different part of the house. What was this like for you? When did you first know you might be in danger?
When strong winds start coming through the windows start busting, and Bree hit me all in the face, and I was just shocked. I really didn't know what to do, but I just want to make sure my oldest cousin was okay, so that's my main goal.
And a lot of your neighbors have been asking about you guys. We're glad that you're okay.
Yes.
Please stay well, and if there's anything we can do to help, let us know. This is just one scene of many up and down St. Louis Avenue, stretching all the way, as some of our other reporters have told you, closer into the Kings Highway area, into the Bolivar, up to Central West End, Forest Park. This whole stretch, this corridor, appears to have taken. We're going to take a look down the street just to give you a look at what we're seeing here. First of all, this steeple has toppled, or at least bent on top of this church. That's one of the scenes that we're seeing here. And down the road, this is St. Louis Avenue. We'll give you a quick look at it. You can see it's been a bit busier in some of the recent moments, but it's still pretty busy right now as many of these cars try to break through what are just massive trees toppled over in the middle of the road. So I'm hearing from Michael here.
I just want to add something that St. Louis Metropolitan Police and the fire department has done an outstanding job. They've been riding around, blowing their horns and asking, is everybody okay? And they're doing a great job.
That's a very nice sentiment. We've seen some of that too. Thank you for chiming in with that,
sir.
Michael. Again, we're glad you're okay. We'll just send it back to UK here in the studio just with a quick recap of some of what we're seeing in North City. We've heard maybe even that some elected officials might have had some damage to their personal property, as right now the mayor's office, the police department, the emergency management officials are all huddled at the St. Louis Police Department. They're having something of an impromptu headquarters there as they try to get a look at the damage. I'll tell you, this severe weather adding insult to injury in a part of North City that has seen decades of disinvestment. Many of the properties here already sagging under the weight of that ruin. Now, one person's plea to me moments ago, he hopes the federal government comes to help build back some of this damage that he's seen here today. For now, live in North City, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.